Hey, all you floaters out there. Jesse here from the Post Float Podcast. The reason you're hearing my voice before the podcast is because, naturally, I was having some trouble with the audio on this episode. We have Mytty on this episode. He's a really awesome dude, and he has an incredible story about how he went down to Orlando, Florida to go to an ayahuasca retreat. So please forgive us on the poor audio quality. I promise I will get better. I really have no excuses. I need to get better at this, and I really appreciate you guys for listening. But Andre has such a cool story to tell you guys. You're really going to enjoy it. So yeah, thank you for tuning in to the Post Float Podcast.
Welcome to the Post Float Podcast.
Were you like your best the first episode, and then it just progressively got worse?
It was
definitely getting better there.
There was a steady upstream of my podcasting quality.
It was like a roller coaster.
Then you started losing the SD card.
Oh, man.
And then blaming it on me.
All right, we are back on the Post Float Podcast.
All right.
All
Back
right.
in action.
Yes. So we actually are live now?
Yep, we're recording for now. Let's
right.
see how long we can go without me screwing this up.
We've been
Tried
not
it.
recording for 20 minutes.
Right, yeah.
We're all out of good shit now. We have no content left. Well, welcome, Andre.
Yes.
Glad to be here.
Andre is kind of one of our seasoned floaters, for lack of a better word. When was your first float?
What, 2 years ago now?
That's crazy. That's awesome.
Right when you guys opened,
Yeah,
I
dude.
was like, I'm going.
We used to have this. We used to have this procedure where we try to take a picture of everybody when they came in, which we
Yeah.
should totally get back to.
We should.
But so you're one of the few that actually has a picture with their profile, and you look nothing like you look now, man.
Right.
You just have short hair and
Yeah.
just kind of just got the sweetheart look and everything. Now that you don't have that still, but
You fooled me.
things have changed
a
man.
wee bit.
So you probably haven't cut your hair since the first time you floated, man.
No, I haven't.
It could be right because it's been about
crazy.
2 years.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So so Andre, I think we were talking about this beforehand. You said you've had like maybe 13 floats. Maybe this was your 13th or something like that.
Yeah,
I could look it up, but well, we usually start out with first of all, thanks for coming on, man. We got some cool stuff to talk about, dude.
For sure.
But how are the floats?
Well, it was awesome, man.
Good float. You did have a dental issue, though,
Yeah.
right?
So every time I float, I feel like I'm like the baby in the womb floating in space, like in the Space Odyssey.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Like I feel like I'm that. And then today I was all in that mode, and then all of a sudden I feel something in my mouth. Like, what the hell is this? It's a piece of my tooth, like from a cavity.
Oh, my God.
I was like, oh boy.
That'll fuck a float up real good.
Just
Yeah.
get so relaxed it just jumped out or what?
We don't
like,
need
whoa.
this physical body anymore, man.
Yeah, it's-
Don't even
Yeah.
need food.
Rejection.
Kids,
Foreign body.
kids see the dentist.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, we started talking that beforehand. I was trying to think of my record when we were sitting here watching Jesse fumble with the computer. I think I went 14 years without going to the dentist.
Good
It's
Lord.
crazy,
That's
man.
gross, dude. I'm sorry if I grossed everybody out.
It's easy to forget, honestly.
I was
Like,
in the military, and I got my first orders to go to Turkey, and I'm like 18 years old, and I'm, still in that world where you're still like treated like shit, and you're supposed to be,
Right.
kind of like that. So they're like, hey, you got to go do all these appointments before you go overseas, and I'm like, fuck, man, I don't know what to do.
right.
I was supposed to go to this dentist, and I just never went. Kind of signed it off and lied. Next thing I know, man, 14 years later, I
That's
was like, I should
crazy.
probably go to the dentist. I think I had 2 cavities. So that ain't bad.
Wow.
But now it's
That's
been like another
impressive.
4 years.
Yeah, oh man.
That's impressive.
I got bad genes. I've had a
Yeah.
million cavities.
Yeah, I have horrible genes with teeth, man.
Whew. I want to put jeans on my teeth.
I used to have this reoccurring nightmare, like a reoccurring nightmare of spitting out my teeth like a machine gun.
What is it? That's a common nightmare.
It freaked me out.
That crossed my mind after my tooth came out.
It'd be pretty badass if you kind of could do that. Have you ever seen when they do X-rays of the baby, the skulls, and they
Yeah.
still have both sets of teeth in there?
What?
You've never seen
Whoa,
that?
I have not.
Oh, you
That's
gotta look one of
intense.
those up. So yeah, because you see this row of teeth, and then under that a whole nother row of teeth. And it
Holy cow.
literally looks like a fucking monster.
Weird.
Wow.
It's pretty sweet, actually.
I bet
It's
that-
worth looking up.
Wow, good to know.
I'll superimpose an image.
So we'll digress from our dental habits real quick. And
Aside from the dental mishap,
Whoopsies.
Butters, how was your flow, brother?
Oh, dude, very cerebral.
Cerebral,
I
huh?
did not lose consciousness.
Yeah,
I had a great conversation with myself in there.
nice.
Yeah. Got to really kick my own ass for a little bit.
Nice,
It
man.
was good. Real
Was
good.
a Jocko in there with you?
He was.
I
He certainly
knew it.
was.
I knew he was coming in
Dude.
with you.
Levi bought me this Jocko Willink book all about leadership, and it's just lock and key, man. My brain is just stuck. Fully on this. I'm just mission mode now, and now
Awesome.
it's great. And so the whole time I'm in there, I'm just going, I've got a mission. You know, I've got there's an objective to accomplish. It's like,
Do you
okay.
follow him on Instagram or Twitter?
Yeah.
and
Oh
everything?
yeah.
Takes a
4
picture-
a.m.
Yep,
every day.
morning. Crazy.
Getting after it, working out, and I was going over through my whole routine thing, like all of my goals. I'm so over ambitious and all this shit, and I had the best idea in there actually, and I'm gonna do it as soon as I get done with the podcast. I'm gonna go online and I'm going to go to the
Don't give away your new app, dude.
the Lost and Float online store, and I'm gonna get myself a float journal that we sell on there.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm gonna
that's
start
awesome.
journaling my floats.
I totally forgot we had float journals.
Yeah, I'm gonna get one of those. And it's like, so I
Oh,
have
that's
so I got it all figured out.
probably
and during
cheaper
the
float
float,
journal
man, I figured it all out during my float. So yeah, I'm gonna get this float journal. I'm gonna like start logging, not just like only my my goals, but just like my I guess so much like my goals. That's very much is it. It's just gonna be a goal orientated journal essentially, because we were talking about journaling with Vince Rule when he was on here, and man, I've been really interested in the idea and been toying it around, and like I was really honest with myself, just like, all right, like of course, like I'm super lying to myself at the very beginning, just like, yep, I'm gonna journal twice a day, I'm gonna get all this stuff down, I'm gonna write down these 3 things, and then by the end of it I was like, are you really gonna do that, or when are you gonna do this, and when? And so there's certain things I'm gonna start doing. I'm gonna start making my shake at night so I can wake up in the morning to meditate and then do the McGill Big 3. And then I was considering like putting a journaling in there, but I was like, no, like just stick to that and then just journal at night.
Journal's fun to do at night. I
Yeah.
agree. I do it in the morning, but I think it's really cool at night because you can you can combine that with like a gratitude approach. Is you get to kind of go look through your day and realize how fucking lucky you are that
Yes,
you're on this
that's what
goddamn
I want to
rock.
do. I want to end it with
Yeah,
like
I dig
just
that.
be like, you know, this is what I did. You know, maybe I don't know. I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to commit to as far as like
Dude,
putting in the journal, but like
Yeah.
I want to have it end like be at like the end of the day, so then I can like end it with like 3 things I'm grateful for the day.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's like the goal. That's what I figured out in my
Yeah.
float today.
It's a good float, man.
it was great. It was very fun to just go through this.
Because I was very, very like, because I was very honest at the very beginning, just like, you know, why are you spending so much time, wasting so much time playing video games all the time? I was just like, oh, I don't know, because I'm bored. You know what I mean? Just asking myself questions and giving myself answers, and it's just like, well, boredom's a choice in today's world.
Yeah.
And it's like, so it's like, what are you really doing? It's just like, well, of course, like I got to be honest with myself, and I figured out, you know, it's just like I'm just like it's kind of like a scared of success thing.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
Like,
I've
so
thought
I
about that
totally
recently.
have that, dude,
Yeah.
with like music, just being like, what the fuck does that look like? All
What
that,
does that look like? How can you be scared of the success of music? Is it from a business perspective or from a learning perspective? What do you mean?
I don't know. So it's like I started going through just being like, well, why? You know, like what's the first thing like scared of success would be like traveling. Like having to like
Oh yeah.
the
All
whole
that.
travel.
That
Like,
makes
I
sense.
love the idea of traveling. I've always wanted to go to Egypt and Australia and all these places, but the act of traveling just scares the fuck out of me. And just like when I'm on the road, I'm like super anxious and just like nervous and all that shit. And so it's like the idea of traveling all the time and shit just like doesn't sit well with me. So I just don't know what it would look like. But like my first idea of being a successful musician is a touring musician, and traveling just like gives me a lot of anxiety. And so like that's like one thing. The next thing was like time, and I was like,
Yeah.
but that's bullshit. Like you
Yeah,
could
that's
fucking,
bullshit.
and that's where I got the journal idea. So I was just like, well, let me organize my time a little better. So that's kind of like
Isn't that
how
weird?
I
The
came full circle there.
illogical, like the irrational fears of success. You know,
Yeah,
man, I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
not gonna know what plane I want to pick out. You know, how am I gonna determine what color of leather I want in this new plane, man? Like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
They're gonna offer me
It's
drinks. I'm
ridiculous.
gonna have to make choices.
But it's a paralyzing thing, and it happens to I think a lot of people.
It definitely real.
It's
dude.
happened to me for
I didn't
past
even
15 fucking years playing music, man. I've
I
never
didn't
really.
understand some of that fear
I've-
of success, but
I've dipped my toes into being like all in as a musician, and like, but I've never really like dove head in. And so I really do want to like start, like we were talking earlier about how I want to like start setting my intention of taking music more seriously. And I've talked about it a million times, but it's like I'm really gonna try. It's like I have no excuse. I play with the best musicians that I know. Seriously this time, you guys. This is the one. I'm serious.
3 floats from now. So I had this idea about taking music more seriously.
Yep, dude. Oh,
I ordered this Lost and Float journal.
it's on the way.
You got it, buddy.
Oh man, dude. So Andre, I want to ask you because this is kind of cool. So first of all, I didn't even know that the Comedy Loft was doing this. First of all, I need to go check out the Comedy Loft. I feel terrible. I was so excited when they came in. My very first business idea that I wanted to bring to Lincoln was a comedy store.
No shit.
Not a comedy store per se, but it just, some type of comedy venue. And so I'm so happy it's here, and I want it to be successful, and I want it to be good. And Jesse was just telling me that you got involved somehow. I don't know if this was pre or post your recent adventure or why you got into this, but explain it to us, man, because you just did a 5-minute set at the Comedy Loft, right? For basically, it's all set up for amateurs looking to potentially get into comedy or maybe even do it for shits and giggles. Like, fill us in on this, man. I want to hear about this.
So this last Wednesday was our second night of a workshop we did. They had a comedy workshop for beginners looking to get into comedy.
Okay.
They had one for a younger group too, like 14 to 20 years old.
So they had like age ranges?
Yeah, but...
Did they have like PG-13, R?
Yeah, so like the younger kids, nobody signed up for that, unfortunately.
Bummer,
but
man.
Yeah, but our class of the older people, 20 and up, we had like 12 people.
That's awesome.
And all of us showed up.
So what does this look like? Like, what does this workshop look like? How does it transpire?
So we had 2 different teachers. One of our teachers, I forget her name off the top of my head, but she's been doing stand-up since 1988. So she's been in comedy for years, and now she does like corporate comedy. I forget her exact title, but it's like she like does comedy routines in front of like big corporate events and stuff, which you make a lot better money than just being a
for sure
peon stand-up comedian. But the other guy, he's fairly new to comedy, I believe. Mark, forget his last name. But
they must just be too funny.
Yeah. But he just did a show this last Sunday, yesterday. And,
at the Loft?
Yep.
Okay.
And he hosts a lot of events there. And it was just, she was more about the storytelling side, and he was more about the punchline side. So
right on. So they were your teachers then?
Yeah.
And then you spent separate time with both of them, like a couple times. Like how much time did you get? Were you in a group?
We started out in a group circle, and everyone introduced themselves, and then they split us into groups, punchlines and storytellers, and then flip flopped.
Okay.
And it was a 2-hour class, and then they said
just 2 hours was all of that.
Yeah.
But wow, what a trip! So that's the first workshop.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they were like, "Well, you got to prepare a 5-minute set by next Wednesday," and I was like,
"Awesome!
All right,
wow.
Let's do this."
So then that's considered. Is that the whole workshop? Then you meet with the teachers, you go through both these groups, and then you have a 5-minute set where you do in front of your peers, and I'm assuming anybody else that wants to show up.
Yeah. And then they said invite friends and family.
And then what does that cost then to do like those two workshops?
It was $25 a piece. So
that's it.
Yeah, $50.
Is this the first time they did this, or?
Yeah. And it turned out really well. Yeah.
Yeah. So this was a good thing. It worked out well, and with a little bit of local support and everything else, this is something that you think could be potentially like a consistent theme.
For sure.
That's awesome, man. Would you do it again, or like what's the goal now, man? Were you just doing it to kind of dick around, or are you excited about actually trying to learn comedy?
So I had told my dad about the workshop.
Okay.
Because I've been wanting to do stand-up comedy since I was a little kid.
Okay.
I grew up on Chris Farley and, SNL and all those guys. And they're more improv comedy, but then I got into stand-up after that. And I told my dad there's this comedy workshop. I really want to do it. And he's like, well, I just bought us 2 tickets, so we're doing it together. I never thought my dad would
So
be
your
doing
dad did it with you?
Yeah.
That's rad, man.
He was the headliner, man.
He was
Yeah.
the headliner.
It was
of the
awesome.
second workshop in front of everybody.
Yeah.
That's fucking
Yeah, so I
great.
actually went and
It was-
saw
yeah.
Andre. I was there
Yeah.
at the for the 5-minute spot,
Yeah.
and I didn't know that your dad was like the headliner. So it was like it was pretty cool, man. Like
Yeah,
he
it
was
was awesome.
hilarious. Like you guys both were great, man.
Did he have any aspirations of doing comedy, or just want to hang out with his boy? And
I
then
think it
he
was
ended
just
up,
hanging out with me.
being really good at it, or what?
Yeah, I think he's down to do it again. So,
Oh, that's
Nice.
great, man.
Yeah,
So what's the plan? Are you gonna keep writing?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I definitely want to do more open mics.
Yep. So
expand from my set.
what does the Comedy Loft do? Is there anybody in town that does just specifically open mic nights, things like that? That you
I
can try to
believe
get in
Duffy's has an open mic
They've had it forever,
every Monday
right?
night.
every Monday night, and then
Yeah.
anybody else?
I think Comedy Loft does sometimes.
So
Zubar also does Zoolarious.
Zularius?
Yep.
Is that open mic though?
I believe so.
Okay.
I'm not 100%.
That's right, Zubar too. Yeah.
But the Zubar has a comedy night.
So assuming you want to go do open mic, how does that work? Like you go to Duffy's, just like, hey man, put me on.
Yeah, they just have like a sign up sheet.
And doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Just-
you could be going on at 1 a.m. when
Right.
everyone's shit faced, or
How long are
Could be an early
they usually
bird.
there? Are they 5 minutes or shorter? 5 minutes seems like a long time.
I think they range from like 5 to 15.
Fuck.
But yeah, 5 seems long. Imagine 15.
15,
like
man.
I can't even
Yeah.
imagine that yet.
So
Dude,
is
your
this-
5-minute spot was great.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Jesse said you did great, man.
It turned out well, man. Like I was reading off my cards a little
Yeah.
bit,
Oh,
I
dude,
like my material,
He told
man.
a story about you. He's like, yeah, dude. He was reading off his cards, but he goes, I don't know if he pre-planned this
Yeah,
or not.
man.
You don't have to give it away.
Dude,
if you did, but he goes,
for real, there was one spot where like I seriously I couldn't tell if this was written into the bit or not.
No.
But you were reading off these cards and you're telling these jokes, and they were fucking hilarious jokes. But then like you started to laugh as you started to read a joke, and you stepped away from the microphone, and then you like came back kind of giggling still, and then you just kind of moved on to the next joke, and you go, sorry, that was just really funny to me. And then you just moved on to the next
Yeah.
joke. I was like, man, I couldn't tell if that
Yeah,
was
is
a
that
joke
set
that
up
you,
or-
You want to hear the joke?
oh, so that's what we were trying to figure out. That
Yeah,
when
yeah.
Jesse told us that, we thought maybe you made that seem that way just because it's fucking
No,
hilarious.
I literally like
What's the
made that
joke?
up. Like
That was too. So you were just playing that
yeah,
off.
It worked out well, man. I did
couldn't
not
tell.
plan that at all.
You should add that in because that was fucking
Right,
hilarious.
right. That's what everyone told me
Be like,
too.
I need 10 seconds here.
But
Because-
it proves that you're just good on your toes, man.
Right, right.
So what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to hear the joke.
So it was my buddy asked me and my friends if we wanted to have fun guys, and next thing you know, we started seeing shape-shifting lizard people and UFOs. I was like, what the hell just happened? And nobody laughed. So I, I started laughing. I was like, well, I thought that was funny. And then the whole crowd just died. I was like, well, that worked out well.
Yeah, that was great, dude.
See, that's what I
It was a
think.
great recovery.
What'd be fun
For sure.
about comedy is the fact that you just, as long as you can make fun of yourself, I think it's key.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
It's huge.
You have to be able to do that.
Huge.
And you got to be okay with that. It's got to literally
Mhm.
be okay. Not pretending you make fun of yourself. Like,
Yeah.
it's okay to laugh at yourself.
I mean, it's all about how you say what you're saying. You
For
know?
sure. I
And-
mean, obviously, it's art.
Yeah, and just being yourself and having fun was what my teacher emphasized. Like, if you're not having fun up there, why the hell are you doing
How
it?
nervous were you on a scale of 1 to 10?
Going up there, I was real nervous.
Yeah.
But once the bright lights hit you, like,
Start
it all went
talking.
away. Yeah,
Nice,
you just
man.
went with it, man.
Nice, dude. I
Yep.
love it.
It was great.
Nice.
Yeah, you had some early laughs, so it
Yeah,
helps.
that
Like when
helped.
you just like
You're like,
come
"Holy
out
shit."
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun. We should do something weird like that. Like sign up for one of those.
Oh man, I've always wanted to do one too. So
For
yeah,
sure.
if comedy. If I see one, I'll have to.
You'd be a
hit them
great personality. By the way, hey, we were watching Willow last night with the kids, and you're 100%
Val Kilmer. dude. I've heard that a million times.
Holy
Oh,
shit, man. Even little Murph was like, Jesse?
Oh no! Oh boy, your 4-year-old daughter thinks I look like Val Kilmer.
Well, it's better to
Oh.
look like Val Kilmer then, man. It's a sexy bastard, dude.
Right? Yeah, yeah.
I don't think he's looking too good now.
Yeah, he and I had like reversed lives.
You
Like
started fat. And
when I was like
ugly?
12, I looked like Val Kilmer does now.
That's good, man. You're going in the right direction,
Right,
dude.
yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, he reminded even his weird little fucking body movements and shit in Willow. I was like, oh my god, dude, that's fucking Jesse.
Isn't he like a drunken knight?
I don't know.
It's
I
about
haven't seen
like
Willow,
my coordination skill.
but he's definitely he's eccentric, to say the least.
They're like
man.
remaking that, aren't they?
What?
Or
Really?
something.
It's gonna be a tough one, dude.
Oof.
It was weird watching that without any CGI because remember the little brownie people? They're like 2 inches tall.
Oh man.
I only made it. We
They
made
like
it through
filmed
an
him in front of a
hour.
green screen and they look all
It
superimposed.
terrible, man. Sorry. Anyway,
Getting all over the place here.
What are we doing? Well, how are we talking about Willow? Willow.
I have no idea. But so you
Well,
what's up?
That opening guy, he made a joke about how he looked like Ben Stiller and Bigfoot.
Yeah, that
So
was.
you could make a joke
Oh,
like
man,
that.
yeah, I
with
actually-
Malcolm.
yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Levi gives me shit for I look like Harry and the Hendersons.
That's hilarious.
Anybody listening to this that's never seen you is like, how the fuck does he look like Val Kilmer from the 80s and Harry from the Hendersons? Dude.
Yeah, Val Kilmer was like a good-looking dude back
Yeah.
then.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
gonna meet this guy. Got Iceman. Yeah, Harry.
Somewhere in between Val Kilmer and Harry and the Hendersons.
Right in the middle.
Oh, that's great, man. That's a good spot to be. It's a good spectrum. You get away with a lot of shit right
I
there.
do get away
you
with
know?
a lot of shit
Yeah.
too.
So, the reason we asked Andre onto the podcast is because not too long ago, Andre decided that he was going to go on a spiritual journey, yeah?
Yes, sir.
So, walk us through that. First of all, one question I want to ask you before you set it up is, A, why? Why did you want to go to an ayahuasca retreat? Did you have any specific intentions or sets or anything like that had drawn you to this, or was it just, could be as simple as curiosity? Your experience, man, and I don't know, what's up now?
All right.
You're back. So.
Well, first off, shout out to Joy Davies. She really encouraged me to go, and
Thanks,
I'd
Joy.
thank you. I had really been curious about ayahuasca for years. I mean, I'd always been curious about psychedelics, but that was like, the Mount Everest of psychedelics, and it's a real serious one too. It's not something you just mess around with, which no psychedelic should be treated that way. They should all be respected as medicines. But she had done it a couple months before we went together. And it was in the works for a while, but we ended up breaking up shortly before we went. So it was kind of like a way to work through that breakup and
Okay,
do it in a
wow.
healthy
Together.
way. Yeah,
Shit.
which was intense and probably is intense to most people hearing this. But it was amazing, man. Like I just went into it thinking like I want to heal, man. I want to be the best person I can be, live to my fullest potential, gain a deeper understanding of spirituality and my higher self, and just grow as a person,
Right on, yeah.
So we went down there, and we got down on Thursday night. So you drink the medicine Friday night. You can do it Saturday morning during the daytime and Saturday night. So we got in Thursday night a little early to get our bearings in, and it was funny because the first people we met down there were actually the closest people to us, like the whole trip. Like,
What do you mean, like proximity wise? Like,
no, just like on a friendliness level,
Got
or
it.
like soul family level.
And where was this?
I recognize you, you recognize me.
yeah.
What's that?
Where was this at?
So it's in Orlando, Florida.
Orlando, okay.
Yeah, yep. And we got down there, and going into the week, I had just had a tooth removed. Speaking of dental issues, and man, I was dealing with a lot of pain, and I wasn't on any medication for it. So I was like wondering, like, should I do this? And I was thinking, like, is this going to be bad? Like, while I'm tripping, like if I have this tooth pain and
Just
then
living in the pain of this
yeah, and I'm having these thoughts like, would it be bad between me and Joy? Like if we're having some bad kinetic energy because of
Right.
the breakup, and like I'm having all these like thoughts like, should I do this? But deep down I knew like this was the right time and
Right
the
on.
right thing for me. Like it was meant to be. And people always say with ayahuasca, like you'll know if you're getting called to go do it. Like
Okay.
you'll get the calling when the time
Right.
comes. Like you'll know. And I definitely knew. And I was like, despite all this bullshit, like I'm gonna suck it up and I'm gonna do this. And
So you fly down?
we flew down. Actually, drove down to Omaha the night before, Wednesday night, because the roads were pretty crappy. It had snowed that day. And so we got down Thursday. The first people we met, we were super close to,
Right.
like I said. And one of Joy's friends she had met from a past retreat, Tracy.
Okay. Was there again?
What's that?
Was there again? With
Yeah,
Tracy?
yeah.
Right on.
She had already gone back like Joy had, and she was doing Cambo, which is like it's like a tree frog venom that you like.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Which look into that, guys listening. I can't really go into that. I didn't pay for that extra thing, but it's supposed to detox your body and all that. So I sat around and watched that whole thing of her doing it, which is a non-psychedelic experience.
Okay.
And it's more of just like to purge and detox your body, but it's very tiresome and takes a lot out of you.
Okay.
And you throw up.
Oh, I can only imagine. Yeah.
And you have to drink like 2 huge gallons of water like during the thing.
Yep.
And I'm just sitting there watching like, oh man.
So did they ask you to prepare any way prior to getting there? Did they ask you to fast or anything like that?
I should have got into that.
No, no worries. I know usually like these retreats are longer than you said. You're like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah. So usually there's time to set that up.
So they ask you to go as little meat as possible, mostly plant-based, vegan, vegetarian. Okay. Vegan if possible, but we were more vegetarian. We had a few cheat days. We were, your average American diet. You know, eat meat for dinner.
See, I'd be crying for 2 days.
Right. Right. And other than that, I think it was don't drink at least a week before, maybe more than that, maybe 2 weeks. Restrained from sex, I think a week before.
Really?
Just a lot of things like that are normal everyday things.
All these rules.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. But it's just mainly to empty your vessel so the medicine can flow through you.
That sex one, though, that seems counterintuitive, man.
Damn, that's a crazy way to put empty your vessel.
Right.
You want to store all that masculine energy, I guess.
I got you. So you kind of
you're gonna need that to get through the shitty part of the trip, right?
I was just didn't know if there was some empirically based reason for to keep you from puking or shitting as much or anything like that, basically, because that's just not something you look forward to. You know, it sucks when you get sick, man, on something. So I can only imagine doing it on a retreat with a whole bunch of other people, and you probably got a little white bucket. But anyway.
So there's 65 people, to put that in perspective. They've had up to 88.
That's crazy.
Wow. So imagine taking a psychedelic substance with 65 other willing people.
How close of a proximity are you guys in here? Are you outside? Are you in like a Morton building?
So there's a big maloka, which is like a big giant teepee kind of thing. Well, I don't know how to describe it. Like a circus tent, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
If you can picture that.
Yeah, totally.
And there's like 35 people in there on mats in a circle. And then we were on the patio area, which you're looking out and you see a fire pit.
Nice.
And they have like the mantle or whatever, like where the shamanista is preparing the medicine.
Okay.
And she's singing over the medicine.
So you're on a mat outside of that tent area then? Okay. Was there a reason you weren't in or out? Just room?
So you can pay for more expensive.
Oh, you don't get a roof over your head unless
Well, we had a roof over our head.
Right.
We were just under this little.
You get an awning.
Yeah, we got an awning. Yeah,
I'm cool with that.
But
the awning tier tickets.
Chris, the owner, he's like, "You guys got the best spot in the house."
That sounds like the best spot to me.
This is where it all started.
If it's not crappy weather.
Because when it started, they only had like 13 people at a time.
Wow.
And that's where it all started, was just the patio.
On the patio.
They hadn't built the maloka. They hadn't built anything else yet.
Right on.
Because now they have like tough sheds, like where you can get sweets. They have like pop-up tents.
Okay.
Like real nice tents.
Just for like just regular sleeping at night and everything, right?
Yeah.
But when you do the ceremony, you're with the group, either where you are or underneath the tent?
So you go to your cot.
Okay.
Where you're sleeping for that night.
Nice.
And everyone drinks the medicine at the same time.
Oh, dude, so you're doing this in your own spot?
Yeah.
Ah, I love it.
Yeah.
See, I was picturing you guys doing this in a big giant circle. I was like,
so you get a cot?
Well, whatever you be sleeping on, right?
Yeah.
Oh, is it your cot? Did you bring it? Do they provide the cot?
No, they provide the cot.
Is it like a cot with a net around it?
No, it's just like a bed, man. It's like a tiny bed.
So
Can I put sheets around it and build a fort?
So if you did
you could if you wanted to.
So if you did tier 1, your cot, are you in a tent then, or are you in a tough shed, or what did you do?
So
Are you outside?
we went with the patio area, which was one of the cheaper options.
But that is where
to
you
save
technically
money.
sleep at then?
Is that where your cot's at?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
I just want to
yeah.
get on the same page. Got ya.
Okay, so,
So-
hang on. Yeah, so you fly in on Thursday. You meet your people that
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
close
I was
with.
gonna rewind back.
Okay,
to
yeah,
where I
yeah.
was. That's all good.
So on Thursday is when you saw the lady do the frog.
Yeah,
ceremony?
yeah.
Okay.
So she did the frog, and Carlos, the shaman there, he said, "Do you want to do rape?" Which I don't know if you guys would know what rape
Well, I
is.
I think you were telling me about
The
it.
sacred tobacco snuff that shamans use in ceremony. It's supposed to ground you and clear your head basically. And like if you're stuck, they call it stuck when you're having a bad experience or having a repeating pattern of events.
Okay.
To do rape, and it'll get you out of that. Like,
So it's basically just snuff.
yeah, it's like a control-alt-delete in
Yep.
a bad situation
Okay, right on.
while you're under the influence, basically.
Nice. So they
Yeah.
just tobacco up the nose?
Yeah,
or-
and
okay.
they blow it with this long pipe into your
That's what
nose.
that pipe is.
Okay, yeah, I've
So-
seen those pictures.
Yes.
So yeah, Joy had already done rape, so she sat down and Carlos applied rape to her, and I watched her do it.
Yeah.
and she's spitting up, loogies and tears are coming out of her eyes, and I'm like, oh boy,
Right.
well,
Yeah, it's snuff.
can't sit around and watch. Let's do this.
So have you already taken the medicine though at this point or no?
No.
This
This
is pre.
this is
Okay.
pre.
Got ya.
The medicine's not till the next night.
So
Okay.
it's still Thursday night.
So this is Thursday night.
you
Yeah.
arrive at the joint. They
Yeah.
take you to your cot. Is that what they do when you get there?
So the first night, since we got there early, there was only 5 people there. The first night we were the
Right
early
on.
birds, so we got to sleep inside in the bunk bed.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So I said, "What the hell? I'm gonna do rape. Let's get this thing started." And my goodness, man. I felt like the top of my head literally blew off my skull, like intense, bro. And
I'll bet.
I said, "Wow, that was insane." And the shaman looked at me and said, "You just wait till during ceremony. I'm going to give you
Are
much
you-
more
do-
than that." I said, "What?"
So do you smoke cigarettes or have you done tobacco
I
before?
vape
or-
myself. Yeah.
Okay, so you're familiar with tobacco
yeah,
then? Okay.
yeah, I'm familiar with
Still,
nicotine.
for somebody who doesn't chew or do snuff, like that's a whole nother.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That's a whole
yeah,
nother level.
I've
for sure.
taken a couple drags out of cigarettes and it just
Yeah, it was a
doesn't-
head rush
yeah.
like no other, man.
that's about it for me. So that thing would probably fucking rock
Especially
my socks
tobacco
off.
right
Oh,
up your
yeah,
nose through
yeah.
a horn that
Oh,
they're
I know,
putting
right? Like-
applying pressure through. Yeah, it's
But
there.
there is this belief that like tobacco used like in a sacred way, like a lot of medicine men use tobacco in like a medicinal way,
Okay.
not like
Right.
smoking a pack a day like in
Yeah,
the States.
we're not talking
or,
nicotine. We're talking
yeah.
tobacco. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is like a medicinal side to tobacco, I think, that is lesser known and that should be looked into or appreciated more.
For sure. Somebody knows.
And that's part of that, but
There's even some optimization with using nicotine.
yeah, for
But
sure.
sorry. Anyway, so Thursday night,
Thursday
you do
night,
rape,
yeah.
head blows off.
So that was my first experience. We ordered some food, went to bed, got some good sleep.
So how
and-
do you order food? The food's all there too? Sorry, I'm just trying to get a
Oh
full
my
picture.
man! Shout out to my boy Will.
He's like a chef there?
No, he was the guy taking the medicine. But
Okay,
he was
yeah.
like this middle-aged gypsy dude. and
Okay.
he had done ayahuasca plenty of times, and he was very experienced in the
Okay.
trade.
Okay, so he's prepared.
Yes, and
Nice.
he was chopping up fresh fruits and veggies, and he's
Ooh,
like,
nice.
"Yeah, take all you can eat." But yeah,
Nice.
all the food in the house is all yours.
Okay.
It's
Cool.
open cupboard.
Nice.
But yeah, we ordered some DoorDash the first night because
Okay,
we're
got it, yep.
technically not supposed to dig into their food
Oh.
until Friday
Oh,
night.
yeah,
Right,
because
right.
you're
'Cause we got
early.
there
right,
early.
right,
Right
yeah,
on.
yeah.
So yeah, Friday night or Friday morning, woke up. Slowly people are starting to shuffle in, little by little.
Just tons of people. That's
Tons of
crazy.
people. Yeah,
65, is that what you said?
65.
Damn.
Yeah,
So they start showing up and then
yeah.
what time did things start kicking off? Like would you
So the ceremony was that night at 8:00.
oh dang.
Damn.
yeah.
So you're
Why
there
so
all
late?
day, like
I honestly can't tell you like
Why they do it that late?
why they do it that late.
Yeah, because you're
but-
strapped in for like 6 hours, probably.
Yeah,
right?
and we couldn't eat after 2:00,
Okay.
so you had to go from 2 till ceremony.
Got ya.
well, even past
So
ceremony.
you're just kind of hanging out at that point?
Yeah. So we were hanging out, getting introduced to ourselves. We had a introductory ceremony to start it off. Like
anything weird? Did you have stand up and like talk in front of the group? Or
yeah.
you
Everyone
did?
introduced themselves.
All
It was a little awkward at
Okay.
first, but once you warm up, just like anything.
For
and ironically, the head administrator down there is from Lincoln, Nebraska.
Oh yeah, you told me that.
Shout out to Scott
That's
Irwin.
crazy.
Damn.
Yeah.
Small world.
Lincolnites.
Oh yeah, but yeah, it was great, man. So we had our introductory ceremony where we got to know everybody. They kind of gave us the rundown of the weekend and all that. And next thing you know, we they showed us Gaber Mate video. Are you guys familiar with Gaber Mate?
No.
He's got some real famous work on addiction and how it's not the addiction that's the problem. It's the underlying problem, which is whether it was being molested in childhood or the any trauma is usually the root of all addiction. So we treat addiction in this country like we throw people in jail and hope they come out on the other side like healed from that addiction.
Right.
We're not. It's like putting a Band-Aid over something that's not the real issue.
Yeah.
It's
not
the trauma.
not focusing on the source, but actually just the symptoms.
Yeah, but yeah, check out his work. He's
what was his name again?
You can rewind this.
Okay, yeah. Sorry.
Gaber Mate.
Gaber Mate.
That's the beautiful of this. When we're recording stuff, I'm like, I don't have to remember.
I know,
this,
yeah.
I get to come back.
Sorry, dude. I just got that floating. I'm like,
so yeah, I mean, I was familiar with him, but that was a great introductory talk to kind of get our minds right and in a good state.
Why you're here, man. What do you got going on type thing?
For sure.
Okay.
Just kind of reassess ourselves. And I'm trying to think. I think after that we had dinner, and then it was kind of more waiting around. And then that's when it was, getting that anxious feeling.
For
like,
sure.
Oh boy.
I can only imagine.
Anticipation.
Yeah. So,
especially, for the first time.
Yeah. Did not know what to expect. I went to that Shane Moss show back in December.
Yeah, I saw you there.
Yeah, and I asked that question, like, what should I go into this expecting? I'm doing this ayahuasca retreat. And she said, expect the unexpected, have no expectation. So, that's...
How'd that work out for you?
I can't thank her enough, man, because I'm so happy that I did not have any set expectations and just like let loose, just
threw your hands in the air.
Yeah, let Mother Ayahuasca take the wheel because I was not driving that car. But so going into taking the medicine, we do like a preparatory ceremony where they give us a sage bath.
Okay.
And they like lay a blanket over you. You walk up one by one, and you like lay your head over the sage, and you like take in the sage over you. It's supposed to like cleanse the negative energies.
Okay.
Just kind of woo woo, but it's pretty sacred.
It's part of the ceremony.
Yeah, it's part of the ceremony.
A lot of that is
for sure. And then they give us Florida water, which is like essential oil that you're supposed to rub over all your body, and another thing to like remove the negative energies.
Right.
And then you're supposed to grab a piece of salt and throw it in the fire.
Okay.
And set your intention into the salt and let go of it. And I actually did it in the wrong order.
Like, I'm fucked.
Yeah, I was like, I'm so screwed right now. Like, I'm going to have a horrible experience. But then I just went back and redid it.
Forgive me,
Forgive me, Mother
Ayahuasca. I'm not even going to risk this.
Yeah.
I need to go back in there. Wait, man, no, it's over. No, I need to go back.
I was like, I just threw the oil in the fire. Like, I'm fucked. Like, I'm so fucked. But,
are you comfortable with stating what your intention was?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what it was. I think I said, I know the second night it was, Mother Aya, show me all I need to see.
Okay.
And let me see it. And the first night it was, clear my mind, pure my heart, and I think pure my soul or something like that. It was super basic.
Yeah.
I didn't really
broad.
know. Yeah. Because I've also heard that it's good to set an intention, but at the same time, no matter what intention you set, Mother
Right.
Aya is going to take you where she
Right.
wants to take you.
For
Kind
sure.
of like floating.
Yeah, exactly. It's commonly said with ayahuasca, you don't get what you want, but you get what you need. You know,
Mhm.
Yeah.
for sure.
Makes sense, man.
Which is,
That's
Important.
everybody that I've talked to or listened to that has done ayahuasca or DMT through the ayahuasca drink.
mhm.
Same concept, pretty much.
Yeah,
You know,
for sure.
there's definitely no control over the steering wheel whatsoever.
0.
But it all seems to come out pretty clean. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
like during even which where, you know, if you have bad psychedelic trip, sometimes you just want to make it through. But it seems like everybody I've talked to is always at some point in time during it, no matter where it's gone, they realize that, yeah, oh, cool. Yeah, I'm supposed to be here.
Right.
So I don't know. I have no firsthand experience with ayahuasca though whatsoever.
So yeah, you had the orientation, you had your
Mhm.
sage bath, you threw the
Dude.
oil in the fire and the salt over your left shoulder.
Yeah, I was like Lloyd and Dumb and Dumber.
Set your intention.
So you had and then what happened?
So, and then we all line up to receive the medicine, and we get our cup, and they recommend you start with 1 dose.
Okay.
So I went ahead and started with 1 dose.
So
I
it's a
wasn't going
drink?
to go overboard. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they do boosters if need be,
Yep,
right?
yep,
Stuff-
yep.
Okay.
So 2 hours in, they ring a gong,
Okay.
and they'll ask you if you want a booster, if you're
Just kinda-
coherent at that
Yeah,
point.
right.
If
So-
you're still with us.
Yeah. Yeah,
So were you still coherent after a dose then, or were you good?
I was good. So
Good.
let me
So
get into this.
Okay.
So I lay back and
This right after taking it?
yeah.
Okay.
So you can't talk to anybody.
That's awesome.
And you can't touch anybody.
Awesome.
Those are the two
Yeah.
big rules. You know, to focus on your own mission, focus on your own experience, and not ruin anyone else's. And I'm sitting there. I got because Carlos, the head shaman, he goes, make sure you wear your eye mask and earplugs, so you know you're not distracted by the sounds around you, and
Right.
your eyes aren't looking around. So you're supposed to close your eyes, and I'd been closing my eyes for 30 minutes. 40 minutes have gone by, and I'm like, I'm not really seeing anything. Like, my intuition was like, it's time to take these this mask off. And at that point, I look around and I'm seeing all these people like throwing up and
Oh man.
just having like horrible experiences. And something I did not realize with past psychedelic experiences I've had, which I've shivered in the past. I've peed or
Right.
you fart.
Right.
What's the other one? Yawning and shivering are like two big ones for me that like I didn't even realize were effects of purging.
That's what you started
Yeah,
doing?
because I always thought purging was throwing
Puking,
up
yeah.
or shit in your
Yeah.
pants, you know? And I'm sitting there like shivering. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. And
This is it.
start yawning and
Oh, it's such a trip. I would
yeah.
give anything to shiver and yawn, I think.
right. And I'm just looking around like these poor people. They're all just like having the shittiest time of their
Right.
life, and I'm just like, my head's in the clouds. Like I'm thinking I'm God. Like I'm way better than all these people. Like my,
my
ego
God,
is
that's
raging.
crazy.
Like
Right?
I'm so much better than all these
That's
people.
so wild.
And then it was up until that point I was like, God, I just want to shout to the rooftops like I'm having a blast right now. And I walked because they have volunteers watching us
Yeah.
and like there to help us.
Right.
So at any moment you can talk to them
Right.
or reach out to them. And I said, hey, I raised my hand. I said, hey, can we talk? Like I just want to talk.
Just wanna
He's
talk,
like, just
man.
sit back and listen to the music. I was like, you asshole. But then later on, I realized like
Right.
why we don't talk. And so then I hear the gong come around, and I'm like, oh boy, time for a booster. So my boy Will, he was the first one up there, and I get right behind Will. I was like, time for dose number 2. And so I sit back down, and that's when another shaman, Anthony, comes by and asks if I wanted rape.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
I did the rape shortly after I had the second glass, and I was talking to Anthony. I was like, I feel so bad for all these people. Like they're all like exercising demons and shit,
Right.
and I'm just
I
like
feel great.
having the time of my life. And he's like, I feel great for these people because they're all getting rid of suffering that is no longer serving them.
Oh, that's great.
And I was like, wow, like I totally understand.
Changed my
that.
perspective,
Yeah, it
yeah.
totally changed my perspective and like humbled me too. I was like, damn, you're right.
I'm not special. God damn it.
Yeah,
I want to get rid of some
goddamn.
demons. You guys are better than me.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. All of a sudden the tables have
Yeah,
turned.
yeah, definitely. And Mother Aya, shortly after that, she showed me like, so I took the second dose and I got the rape, and that's when I really blasted off. And
Yeah.
you know, I was just wrestling with indecision, man. Like not being able to like fully be into stuff, like you were saying earlier. You know, just like fully be into your craft of music. You know,
Mhm.
that's really what we're all searching for. Is just like being all in life. You know, whatever it is, whatever you're passionate about. Which stand-up comedy, as a result of that weekend, like I feel like Mother Aya helped me to gain the confidence to go do that.
Cool.
And so yeah, that was a big lesson that night. Was just like sitting there, like I'd get in a weird position at one point, and then be like in a hellish state, like having these negative thoughts come in, and get distracted by other people. And then they'd always say, like, if you're in a bad spot, like just to change your literal position you're sitting, because that changes your whole dynamic and can take you to another place or another thought realm. And so I just kept rolling back and forth. I was like, I don't want to face this shit. And yeah, that was definitely the big lesson that night. Was like I wanted to go get Joy. There was part of me like, I gotta talk to Joy,
Right.
But we had decided that night, like, we're gonna separate. And I'm so glad we did, because you know we had to deal with stuff on our own, man.
Right.
And, yeah, I just learned that night, like, you know, I just gotta be fully in things. I can't be half-assing shit, you
Right
know.
on.
I can't have one foot in, one foot out. Like, gotta be fully committed to whatever I'm focusing on.
Okay.
You know?
Just to get the full experience and then
Yeah.
make your next decision type of thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you took your second dose, you did your rape. Do you have any purging then? Or are you still just shivering and yawning?
I just shivered
That's
and
just
yawned,
your
man.
thing,
I didn't
man.
puke
You're-
once.
Wow. Do you think there was other people like you that didn't?
There definitely is.
Yeah. Or do you think
I'm a rare
the
one.
what's common? Is it to puke?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
What about shitting your pants?
Um,
Do they have like outhouses? How does that one work?
they're pretty good about getting you to the bathroom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Levi's concerned.
It's my biggest concern.
No, dude.
Absolutely,
No,
man.
dude.
Can you imagine shitting
No
your
shame
pants high
at
as
all.
fucking ayahuasca and then be like, God damn it, now I got this to deal with.
Nah.
dude."
No shame at all down there.
It's not
man.
like I
Even if you did shit your pants, they would go get your clothes and
Yeah.
help you get dressed.
I'm just
Like,
saying it's not the fact that other people know I shit my pants. Is that I have shit in my pants and I have to
Yeah.
do something. It's like a responsibility I don't want. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
It would be they'd probably
puking's
wipe
such
your
a
ass
responsibility
for you.
too.
Dude, I've dealt with
Yeah, that's
worse.
awesome.
I've dealt with worse.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
So yeah, Saturday morning or
So you finish, you go through this whole thing.
Yeah.
You're coming down. I'm assuming
So,
Saturday
yeah,
morning.
well, we come down.
12.
Well, yeah, I guess it would be Saturday
Yeah.
morning. So it's like 4 or 5 in the
Did
morning.
you see the sunrise?
Yeah. I was sitting with my buddy Cameron, who I'd met. Shout out to Cameron. He's a vegan skateboarder from Memphis, Tennessee.
Right on.
Very cool dude. Felt like I'd known him for many lifetimes.
Very cool.
But he was one of the guys I met the first night, along with Will and Tracy. So us 5 were pretty closely knit the whole time.
Okay.
Cool.
And him and Will were right by my cots on the patio, so we were all pretty tightly knit, like I said. And so me, Joy, and Cam, we sat up and talked for hours about our experience, like after we'd already stayed up all night.
Yeah, I bet.
And then I went in and about 4 or 5 a.m. went and grabbed some grub. They got fresh veggies for you, because apparently if you eat like grapes or certain fruits,
Okay.
it takes you back into the experience. So
Whoa.
Will's like, time to grab some grapes.
That's great.
That's
But,
great.
Yeah, I stayed away from the grapes.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, I'm gonna do this again.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I got a whole nother day.
for sure. So then, yeah, because you ended up doing it again Saturday night, correct?
Yeah.
How'd
yeah.
that differentiate from what you experienced Friday night through,
there's a
not
huge
wanting to
difference.
really stare at the face of your whatever?
Mhm.
Just the fact that those things that you don't want to look at. And like you said, like, I don't want to deal with this shit, so I keep
Yeah.
turning back and forth.
Yeah.
What was Saturday night like?
So I'll just start off from Saturday morning.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we woke up and, like I said, you have the option to do the
Oh, yeah, you could
daytime
have done it
ceremony.
Saturday morning. That's insane.
So, like, coming off the first night, I was like, no freaking way.
Yeah.
I'm doing it Saturday morning.
You haven't
Like,
even
no way.
slept.
Yeah, like, I need some rest,
Right.
like, I need to recuperate. And I was like, no fucking way. And then, so I ate breakfast and did morning yoga. And once you eat breakfast, you can't do the morning ceremony. And
Right.
it wasn't until after I ate breakfast, I was like, I really want to do the morning ceremony. I was like, shit.
Got a second wind here.
So, yeah. But definitely when I go back, I'm going to definitely do the daytime ceremony just to get that experience. And,
So would you do all three, or then would you skip the nighttime one on Saturday? If you did that morning one,
if I did that morning one, I'd just do the morning one. And,
yeah,
and
that's what I assumed. I was like, Jesus,
Yeah,
man.
I just volunteer.
Live on ayahuasca for 2 days.
Yeah, I'd volunteer the rest of
Yeah,
the weekend
yeah.
just to get the other side of the experience.
Right on. I understand what you're saying.
Just to give back, man. It was
Yeah.
such a great experience.
Sounds cool. And they had
That's
yoga
awesome.
set up there, too?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
rad.
So Anthony's wife,
Just kind of
what was
did
her
a
name?
pop-up yoga or what?
Yeah, Norel. She led us in yoga the Saturday morning, and that was amazing.
Right.
And like, just kind of set the tone for the day.
Yeah.
And, just talking with everybody about their experiences the night before was just so refreshing, man. And we had integration groups where you talk about your experiences
Cool.
with your group leader or whatever, and just hearing everyone's different experiences, because
Yeah.
these experiences people have are so vastly different. Like, everyone is having their own unique experience, and it's so crazy, like, to hear, like, this person had the time of their life, this person, like, saw, they were molested in their childhood, like, you name it, man. Like,
Right. It happened.
yeah, it happened. And so just hearing everyone's stories, like, kind of like prepared you for that next ceremony even more, like, just hearing where it could go. And
Right. Yeah. You're learning.
yeah. And so set the stage, and the biggest thing Saturday was the breath work, which I
Okay.
don't know if you know Wim Hof. He's
I
big
did a
on-
round of Wim Hof before my float today.
Yeah, I know you're big on Wim Hof. Yeah, and we did an hour and a half of a breathwork workshop,
Nice.
and they have like crazy music going, and Scott, the guy from Lincoln, he's leading the breathwork workshop,
Nice.
and
Oh, cool.
just breathing into a mic,
When did you sleep after Friday night? Did you? Or did you stay awake?
I slept probably from like 5-6 a.m. to like 10 a.m.
So
Okay,
like
then
before
you-
the
then you
yoga
got
class?
4 or 5
Okay,
hours.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, not the greatest sleep, but
Did you
Probably
sleep
not.
like before the yoga class then?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then
Yeah.
you woke up and like
Gotcha.
day 2,
Yeah.
let's go.
Everyone doesn't have their bearings till like 11 noon. Like,
Dude, I'll bet.
yeah.
It's like a festival, man.
I know. That's
For
why
sure.
I almost
For
would be
sure.
like, man, I wish Friday was like at noon.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. Right.
Maybe I could try to get some sleep Saturday night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it
No.
ain't happening.
Uh-uh.
No.
But I mean, you could always go down and do it Saturday during the day, and that'd
Oh,
be
yeah.
rad.
That's a really
True.
good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guess you don't have to do it
You
Friday
don't
night.
have to.
Yeah.
They recommend doing all three, but
Jesus.
it's brutal, man.
That is brutal.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. At least that time I couldn't. I don't know if I ever can. but-
I'd be concerned because I wouldn't be able to distinguish if I just feel like shit or if I don't have any sleep. Because I feel like shit
Man.
when I don't
Yeah.
sleep, man.
And it's crazy because like only 25 of the 65 did the daytime.
Okay.
So like, you have all these people who are like,
Right.
like sober in a sense.
Yeah.
And then all these people that are in ceremony.
Yeah.
So they're like walking back and forth between like, because there's like this area where you do yoga, which is under like all these trees. It's a very beautiful area, which
Okay.
is why I wanted to do it. Plus, doing it during the day is completely different than night. Like, it's a whole different setting.
For sure.
So, and just being in nature more, like under the trees and stuff. So they're walking back and forth between the bathrooms in this area, and we're all like sitting like in
How
the main
easy
area
is it
behind
to
the
just
bathrooms.
walk to the bathroom? I mean, how
I didn't have any trouble.
No. Okay.
I got up to pee quite a bit.
So let's talk about this shitting thing.
Yeah, Levi's super concerned about these bathrooms, Andre.
It's not bad, man.
Dude, I've just been in some states in my mind where there's no fucking way I'm making it through the door that's 2 foot away from me, man. And so
It's like
It's
a
literally-
long hallway.
it's just like, that's impossible. I'm never getting there.
Literally, like, anywhere you are in the whole compound, like 30 feet is like the farthest the bathroom is.
Okay.
And where I was at, it was like 5-10 feet away. Like I was super close to the bathroom.
Man, see, I'm a little concerned about it too because
Well, I'm just
like
gonna
if
walk
I get
through a yoga class and I'm like not trying to run into anybody, but I'm fucking tripping my balls off,
Yeah, it's
dude.
like
That's
not-
what I'm talking
yeah,
about.
not only that, it's just like 'cause sometimes I like kind of get so far out.
Yeah,
like
that's what I mean.
some things just look like toiletries. You know what I mean? Like sometimes a tree just looks like a toilet. You know, it's just like,
Well, you gotta remember you have people guiding you.
That's true. So they're
Ooh,
trying to
thank
keep you
God.
like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a big thing.
And they have a
man.
lot of people to help. Like
That's
they're
nice.
not short staffed
Yeah.
by any means.
that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
very cool.
I always felt safe. I always felt like they were there to help me, except for Saturday night when I got in a very bad place.
Oh, let's hear about it. All right.
Oh boy,
That's
here
good.
we go.
Night 2.
So, yeah, going back to the breath work, that was really good. And I actually hallucinated during the breath work,
I hear
which
that a lot.
I had never thought like, wow, you could hallucinate during breath work.
Right.
And that was an amazing experience and really set the stage for Saturday night. And so, we do the whole pre-ceremony, the sage bath and all that stuff, set our intention. Like I said, my intention was that night, Mother I want you to show me all there is to show me, because I felt like I'm hearing everyone Friday night in integration saying, "Oh man, I saw the whole universe. I got
Right,
a
they're
tour
having
of the
mystical
whole
experiences,
yeah.
and you're just like, hey man, I want that too.
Yeah, like mine was more like it wasn't very visual, I guess, the first night.
Right.
The second night, man, oh man, where do I begin? So,
Did you get the salt right this time?
what's that?
Did you get
That's
the
what it
salt?
was.
Yeah, I got that right this time. So where do I begin? So it was going good, and another thing they say when you're having a bad experience is to go sit by the fire.
Okay.
So I'm looking right at the fire, right?
Yeah, because you're out on that patio,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And then the people in the Maloka are like 30 feet. The Maloka's like 30 feet from the courtyard area where
Okay.
I'm at. So anyone in the Maloka that's having a bad experience, the volunteers are bringing them
Yep.
out to the fire. And it just so happened that the only other Andre that was there, shout out to Andre. He's from Cleveland. He's a Ukrainian guy. He's really, really sweet soul, but he was having a really rough time. And I don't know if I should say it now, but I talked to him the next morning to find out like what was going so wrong. And I'll just say it now, but he was fighting the experience. Like,
Yeah. He wasn't throwing his hands in the air type thing.
yeah, it was kind of like he regretted taking the medicine that night and just wanted it to be
Wanna
over
shut
with,
it off.
which that's not possible.
Fuck,
so
that's a bad idea, man.
Yeah.
They don't
yeah.
buy the ticket, take the ride.
yeah. So they either say, if you don't let go, you're gonna get
Yeah.
dragged. So
Yep. Oh,
and
100%.
he
right?
got dragged.
Yep. Yo, bummer.
That's any psychedelic experience right there.
Yeah. So, man,
It was rough.
he was like 15, 20 feet from me right by the fire, and he was distracting everyone, man. I'm just gonna be flat out honest.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were saying like there was like a dark energy in the air that night. Like there was
Yeah.
something in the setting that night that was dark.
Right.
And so Andre is like screaming like "Mommy, Papi," like screaming at the top of his lungs. Like I swear to God, like I thought he was having an exorcism. Like,
Dude, I'm
right in
watching The
front of me.
Outsider right now, so it's freaking me out.
Yeah, yeah. And literally, there's like 5 to 10 volunteers like trying to corral
Yeah.
him and like trying to calm him down and like eventually try to take him inside, and he's like fighting back, and I'm just like,
Yikes.
I got to get out of here. Like this is gonna take me to a bad place. And like I was trying
Yeah,
to
so
like,
then you're paranoid.
Yeah.
So you try to grab control just by trying to take. Yeah, dude.
So I had a volunteer
Like
like walk me
dominoes.
around the Maloka, and I'm just like, I just walked out of that hellhole, and I like go into the Maloka where everyone's like crying and like
Oh God.
throwing up, and it's like I felt like I was walking through hell. Like I was seeing like everyone suffering,
Right.
and it was I thought like everyone was like permanently gonna suffer.
Right. Yeah. Like this is
hell.
forever.
Yeah, like this is like the Christian version of hell. And I was like get me out of here, like take me back to where I was. So then like I had literally went to hell, and I was like, all right, hopefully I'm done with that. And then like no, it only increased. So it went from man, where do I begin? So at one point I felt like I was paralyzed, like I was my dad, like I was experiencing life through my dad's eyes. My dad's broke his neck. He
Quadriplegic?
Yeah, he broke his neck at 15, diving into a lake. Oh wow! And he's
Is that it's kind of a
lost
trip
feeling in
that,
his
like,
legs ever
not that
since.
you can completely sympathize, but you're almost like, I felt what it feels like.
Literally.
Right.
Yeah, and like it made me feel like what it was like not to be able to walk.
Right.
And I was like, holy
Whoa.
shit! Like I'm so grateful, like
For sure.
for all he's sacrificed for me. And like to feel that was like so humbling, man. Like I can't even begin to explain. But like at one moment I thought I was literally the devil. Like, and I had like led all these people to this retreat, like, and like I had like sold all their souls like for my own good,
For your own gain.
and like they were all like seeing what I had done, and like all were like
They're
looking at
figuring
me.
it out.
Yeah, like this guy sold us all out. Like,
Shit.
yeah, I literally thought
Don't
I-
tell the other Andre.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
I'm fucked.
I literally thought I was God at one point. I thought like I was literally controlling everyone else's experience, which I kind of had some of that Friday night, which was very like, whoa, like this is not good. This is too much. Like,
Right.
I don't want to have this power. And
That's so cool, though, that you got to feel what it was like to think you have that power and then make a conscious decision not to want it.
yeah,
It's pretty neat.
yeah. And there was part of me that was like, because this night, Joy was a couple mats by me, so we
Okay.
were pretty close this night. And I was really going to a bad place, and like I literally thought like the DEA was coming to raid this place.
Wow.
Like I thought I was gonna get arrested. Like, which was funny because the night before, Joy thought Trump was coming to shut the place down and like, sending the DEA down.
just shows up in person. Shut
Yeah.
this shit down.
So
Oh man.
I was
You're
going
fired.
through all
Be a bad
this.
trip.
At one point I thought I was a pharaoh being buried,
Wow.
like having my arms crossed, like being mummified.
Yeah, and you can't move.
Yeah.
Whoa, dude.
And it was, if you've ever seen The Mummy, like
I fucking not forever, but
I literally thought I was him for a minute, like literally being resurrected. Like,
Imhotep.
yeah. Literally.
Billy Zane
oh,
And-
that's
as
awesome.
Imhotep.
Yeah. Like breathing moths out of my mouth and shit.
Oh man.
Didn't think I was human for a while. Man, you name it. I literally I took, to set the stage, I took 2 cups this night right off the bat.
Right off the bat.
Right off the bat.
I ain't messing
So
around.
I blasted off, and the volunteers were helping me. What was her name? Verena, who's Scott's wife, and Narelle, Anthony's wife. They were both trying to apply rape to me to like settle me down.
Oh shit.
And
So they're literally trying to put this little horn in your nose.
yeah,
Oh fuck.
and
And you
I
can't move.
and I thought like
Oh no, dude.
I thought I was like in this bad place where like they were trying to like
Right.
sacrifice me to
Right.
Satan. I'm like.
Oh shit.
Like these, I can't trust these
Right.
people. Like I was dealing with trust issues.
just like the devil's advocate or whatever.
yeah,
Ooh.
literally.
Remember that? They start
Yeah.
shaping.
So when you're looking at someone in the eye that's about
Right.
to apply something up your nose,
Right.
and you can't trust this person,
Right.
you're thinking they're like Satan's minions.
Right.
Like, I didn't want that rape. so she literally shot it up my nose, and I like blew it up in my face.
Oh.
So it all like blew in my face. And I was just having a terrible time. And then like they finally got me to go sit by the fire, and like that saved my life.
No
man.
shit. So the fire worked.
Yeah. So literally why I went through all that dark stuff, like yes.
Yeah. What did you analyze this?
So what I got from it was, yes, Andre was the distraction that took me to a bad place because I seen the
potential. Yeah.
the potential it could go to. But it was the resistance, like Andre was resistant.
You grabbed on, dude.
Yeah, because down deep in me, I was like, you should go sit by the fire. Like, you need to go get warm by the fire. And part of me was like, well, dude, you're already sitting by the fire. You're watching the fire. You're just like 20 feet away.
Yeah.
So I kept telling myself, like, dude, you're already by the fire. No need to get up. But there was like part of me that was like, I was sitting on this patio area, right? And it's like concrete. And like past trips I've had and stuff, like I get this feeling of like the world's a concrete jungle and like we're all just like putting chains around it, like trying to make it our own rather than like let nature be, you know?
Yeah.
Like trying to constantly expand. And like I felt like I was contributing to that.
You were
like,
a part of it. Is what you felt like.
Yeah. Like I was sitting here on the concrete thinking it was my safe zone, and like
And you felt complacent in that.
yeah, like I was removing myself from Mother Nature, and
break free of these chains.
Yeah, literally, and like the moment I like could just overcome my fears of just going to sit by the fucking fire.
You're good.
I was good, man, and like, oh my god, like I literally at one point before that like thought like they wanted to throw me into the fire or like
shit.
I had to sacrifice myself into the fire. I was like, so I turned to the nurse next to me. I was like, should I I kind of just want to jump in the fire.
No,
And she's
get
like,
the Arape.
she's like, I don't think that's a good idea. She's like, I don't think that's a good idea. I was like, yeah, I think you're right.
God damn, dude, the responsibility of having 65 people with the potential of wanting to jump in a fire potentially is it fucking. That's
Yeah.
impressive that somebody can maintain that.
So you're sitting there with like just rape all over your face, just like,
Dude.
I think I might jump in the fire, and they're like,
They are fucking angels, man. Like,
That's
I can't
crazy, yeah.
thank them
let's
enough.
not do that, Andre.
That's why I want to go back and just be of service, man. Because
Yeah.
it taught me
that's
like
awesome.
how much they're there helping you, like putting all their bullshit aside
right.
to help other people. You know.
I think it's so cool, man. Not to point this at me at all, but the only experience I have in the same realm, those sometimes those trips are kind of the best.
Yeah.
To fucking stare at the thing that you try not to ever look at.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible, man. When
Definitely.
because it seems like no matter what, and maybe this is just me, but whenever I hit one of those moments, you know, and I have those thoughts, or whatever, or even the uncomfortability of being like, God damn it, I am, you know, I'm, you know, whatever it is. Not that I'm not special, but just that I'm not good.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking bad person, man.
Mhm.
That I really am like a piece of shit.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if this is true or not, but with me, maybe it's just my ego doing its survival mode. But I always in that conversation, right, in the right path.
Mhm.
I always end it correct. I always end up everything okay. But you have to walk through those shitty
Yep.
blades of fucking, you know, shards of glass going to your feet of like, dude, you're selfish. You
Mhm.
this that. It's just the worst,
100%.
man. It's the worst. But
It is.
I've
But
never.
but the reward at the
The
end of it
reward,
Yeah,
the reward's
yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
But I still do question my little ego. Like, how are
That's
you
good.
just talking me into this shit? You're just pulling me out. It's okay. Maybe it's still all true that I'm a piece of shit. But that's an uncomfortable
Yeah.
thing to go
Oh,
through,
man.
especially when you're on a hardcore psychedelic.
And
Like,
especially when the dude causing all the trouble has the same name as you.
Yeah.
Did that fuck with you at all? Just being like, Andre's
did.
the source
It
of
did.
all of my problems.
It really
and then
did
you like
fuck
turn
with me,
that on
man.
your inner eye, just
Dude.
like,
Yeah.
Andre, you're the source of all my
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
they're gonna.
Who is Andre? Am
They're
I
gonna-
Andre? We're all Andre.
I know my brain would be going. They're gonna figure out they had the wrong Andre. God damn it, it's me. They got the wrong one.
It's like, Andre's fucking everything up. Wait, which Andre? I'm Andre. Andre's
it's
fucking
like-
everything up. Which Andre? I'm Andre.
Is he like telling me what I'm about to experience? And like, yeah, it was
Right.
fucking with me, man. Like, but I can honestly tell you, after I was reassured I was okay. and,
Yeah.
like I was sitting by the fire and like in touch with the earth, like grounded, my feet in the soil.
Talk down from jumping into the fire.
Yeah. Talk down from jumping into the fire. I laid down and that's all I really needed was rest.
And you're just
Oh,
good.
I
Because
bet, man.
I had hardly any sleep the night before.
I agree
had
with
jet
that,
lag
too.
from even before that.
When you're talking about that dark energy,
Your body,
my brain immediately thought, there's a lot of tired motherfuckers.
yeah, your
Oh,
body's
yeah.
pissed at you.
Yeah,
For
dude.
sure.
Your body's
For
That's
sure.
where that
seriously
dark
mad
energy
at
is. That. It's
you.
like, you motherfucker,
sure.
go to sleep.
For sure.
So, sorry, like I said, to point that myself, but what did you take out of that? Like, obviously, you're talking about the change and removing yourself from that and getting back to just nature and things, putting your feet in the soil. What did you analyze from your experience, though, of facing the worst parts of yourself? I mean, literally, you said a few times there, not only did you think you were God, but you thought you were the devil.
Yeah.
Those are two of the most special thoughts you could probably have. I mean,
Yeah,
there was
literally.
multiple times where, you have that, fuck, man, I'm sitting here thinking I'm better than everybody else, but I don't want to think I'm better than everybody else,
Right.
but I'm thinking it.
Yeah.
But then you come back, or you grounded yourself. What do you think your overarching takeaway was?
Well, so after that whole experience, and I was sitting by the fire, and I was just laying down, I literally felt like I was in the womb of Mother Earth.
Like starting over?
Like, yeah, literally getting the best sleep, rest, whatever you
Right
want to
on.
call it, I could ever experience. Like, literally since before I incarnated into this realm in life. Like, I literally felt like I was being reborn,
That's
like
money.
in the womb. Like, literally the most blissful, healing. Like, I felt like I was being hugged by Mother Earth. Like,
That's great.
I can't put it into words, man. Like,
Yeah, it's probably ineffable. for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. But just what I learned, man, was just to be love, man. Just to live life to the fullest. Like, I know it's all cheesy stuff that comes out
You
of
got to
us.
admit, though, dude, you do any statistical analysis, what's almost everybody bring back? Love.
Love, yeah.
It's almost
It's the bottom
it's almost
line, man.
universal usually.
For sure. And it's just, appreciate people, like so many times, like I reject help when people offer it to me. I'm like, I got this shit,
Right.
I can do this on my own, but you got to learn to accept help when it's there. Another problem I have was, I always work myself to death. I'm always, got to work 24/7. I'm a workaholic, and like, you got to take time for yourself and to like recuperate and relax. And that's why I float in the wintertime, honestly.
Yeah.
And I would recommend
Yeah.
anyone to do the same. As a landscaper like myself, like, you need that time to yourself to relax, whether it's through meditation or yoga or floating. I mean, there's many ways, breath work. You name it.
That's the thing we always tell everybody too. There are so many different modalities and ways you can do this.
Mhm.
Just pick the one that you like the best. Like, obviously floating's mine,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's weird to even hear you say when it felt like you were back in the womb and, Mother Earth or whatever, and she was just resting you and nourishing you and everything else. And this is just coming from a non-psychedelic state, but that was my float today.
Yeah.
That was my fucking float,
Nice.
man. I just
All my best floats are in the womb, man.
Dude, that's my float today. Like, I've been so stressed out. I didn't float last week, so this is 2 weeks in, and the juxtaposition was just maddening. I just literally had just super, super busy, stressful 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I knew, man, it was just redlining, and I was like, skipped a week with some stuff, and that tank just did exactly what you're talking about.
Mhm.
Minus, I'm not getting the Mother Ayahuasca to show me anything. This is just all
Right.
my natural consciousness, which is cool because you float enough, you can tap into some
Oh,
places
yeah.
that you normally can't. But it was a trip, man. That's I felt just, I smiled, I laughed in there tonight.
Oh, that's great.
Dude, I
That's
cried for
awesome.
the first time. I did.
No
I didn't
kidding.
cry, but I hung out with my dad for like the last 10 minutes. I didn't know it was going to be the last
Wow.
because then the music
Nice.
played. I'm sitting there hanging out with my pops just like, well, and I had fucking tears. First tears in a float tank ever.
Wow, dude.
Yeah,
That's
dude, it was a
beautiful,
trip.
man.
But
Special
sorry,
day.
not to do that, but that's that comforting feeling of like, hey man, it is what it is.
Mhm.
Like, everything is just kind of is what it is, and we choose, based off experiences, everything else, trauma, of course, all this stuff, but we are super empowered.
Oh, yeah.
We're super empowered to do these simple things,
For sure.
and stopping to listen to yourself, even when you're forced to through a psychedelic adventure. And that's what you're doing, man. You don't not get to listen to yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we've all done it. Like I said, I've never done ayahuasca. I really want to go down there. I really
Mhm.
want to try the Soul Quest. It sounds pretty cool.
I think you're getting called, man.
But dude, yeah, it's something about going through a trip like that where I choose to be with myself, but some people get forced to do it, and sometimes it's fucking uncomfortable.
Yeah, don't force no one to do that.
Yeah, and it's like easy like to say things like, you said like, to like what you got back was to like be love and just like express love and all that and stuff. But it's another thing to experience it.
Yeah.
Like you did.
100%.
And so you said you do it again. Just one more time for like the listeners listening. Like, where is this place again? What's it called, and how could people find it?
So it's called Soul Quest, Church of Mother Earth, or Ayahuasca Church of Mother Earth. It's in Orlando, Florida, and you can check it out online at their website. I think it's soulquest.com.
Just SOUL, you said, right?
Yes.
Soul.
SOUL Quest, QUEST.
Cool, man.
And they're also on Facebook. Go ahead and check them out. You can sign up on their website.
Did you
It's
say
pretty
they
easy to
did
sign
something
up.
for veterans potentially suffering with PTSD as well?
Yeah, so if you're any veterans out there, they have special retreats for veterans.
Just different days or something?
Yeah, so they're more private retreats, and they're a lot smaller, so they only have like 8 to 10.
Oh, that's awesome.
Great.
And there's trained veterans that are work with the medicine down there that have similar PTSD that they're dealing with. So
Man,
That's awesome.
that is
they've
awesome.
worked through it and are giving back and helping others.
Hey man,
Well-
Mother Ayahuasca's calling. I wonder if she's like kind of pissed now that the popularity of ayahuasca is, gone up tenfold. She's like,
Yeah.
fuck guys, got to be in a lot of places at one time, man. Used to just have to go to the Amazon every once in a while. Kid hits
Yeah.
14, I show up. Now you guys are all like popping down in Florida.
Like-
There's 65 of you sitting in a circle and get
Right.
crazy.
There's only one Mother Ayahuasca. I gotta be in.
I definitely don't think like it's meant for everybody. I don't have the Timothy Leary mindset.
Yeah,
For
no.
sure.
And speaking to everyone, this is 100% legal. This
Yeah.
is for religious purposes down there. So
Yeah.
nothing to worry about as far as legality. Just
Right
letting
on.
everyone
Yeah,
know.
Trump and the DA aren't showing up.
No. That was all my
It's all in your
subconscious.
head, man.
But no, my biggest takeaways were, just to live life to the fullest. Find your greater purpose.
Yeah.
Live to your fullest potential and stop holding yourself back with excuses and stuff that's not serving you. Like, I have nothing against alcohol, and I didn't even have a drinking problem. But when I got back, I just realized like, I don't need to drink anymore. It's no longer serving me. I also played a lot of video games like Jess. I was in 2 leagues. I was in a Madden league and an NCAA football league, and I gave both those up when I got back. I was like, I don't need that shit.
Good for
Like,
you, man.
I want to find better hobbies that I'm passionate about. Like, doing this was an honor, man. Like,
Oh, dude, 100% all us.
Yeah.
It's fun, man. That's like, I always think there's a common thread, a common theme. I'm not articulate enough to express a damn thing, but I was listening to this. I read basically a real quick snippet, synopsis of an article. Didn't get the full thing, but basically VR is the next thing, right? In kind of the video gaming world. But what they've been finding is they're having a hard time pushing this and marketing this. From, again, I read it very quick, very small bit, but it sounds like they didn't anticipate what they thought would happen. Like, imagine you're huge into video games, but there's a difference between being in a video game, maybe having a beer on the counter, a soda, your wife's cooking dinner. You're you're attached in 2 different dimensions, right?
Right.
There's a difference between shutting it off. And I've been thinking about this recently because I think what most people want and desire, I know we all do whatever you're compelled to do, but it almost breaks down to every single time just being connection.
Yeah.
To be connected.
Yeah.
And there's nothing better than fucking watching the best 4K movie, blah, blah, and maybe you can put on a VR and just go in it. But when that movie's over, what you don't feel? You don't feel
Connection.
connected.
Yeah. Yep.
So I've wondered about that a lot. I mean, don't get me wrong. I whatever compels you. The escapism's fun for me too. I love a good movie, man. I love shit like that. But I never feel better.
Oh yeah. I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
Technology.
Yeah.
About kind of like that that love and everything. It almost just seems like we're all just forget there's team people out here, and everybody thinks when VR is so great and you can just go into this world and you have haptic feedback, everyone's just gonna fucking live there. But I disagree unless somehow you can create some type of synaptic connection to another being that's going through the same shit everybody is. Whether you're on ayahuasca, you're spiritual, you're not spiritual, who gives a shit? We're all kind of going through the same thing, which is, what are we doing? right?
Mhm.
And we find little caveats along the way. So I just thought that was interesting. I just want to bring it up.
Huh.
That I really feel like that's one of the biggest proponents to almost anything is just connection. Like what you even said, like talking to those people afterwards, probably the best fucking part.
Dude, they
Because
all
you guys
felt
just
like
kind of live
family.
this thing, man.
They all felt like family after that. 'cause
It's incredible. Like, how many friends have you guys had? And maybe you don't, but I've got friends I've had for 20 plus years that I don't actually know.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And we're really fucking close friends. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I feel like
You know what I mean?
there's something about the psychedelic experience that if you've had that experience with someone, you know them in a whole different way than
It
you
does
know
create like
anyone
a
you haven't.
rapport.
Yeah.
What's a deeper bond? Because I think like you disengage
Yeah.
parts of the brain,
It
like
shuts it down.
parts of the ego brain
Yeah.
gets
Yep.
like shut down,
Yeah.
and so it's like you get to be more open. You're more your guards are
Vulnerable,
down,
yeah.
vulnerable, all
Yeah.
that stuff, and so you do
Yeah.
get to form closer, deeper bonds.
That's what I love about it.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I don't like about it? I'm worried that
Puking
like,
and shitting all over the place.
yeah, where are those bathrooms at, man? We're gonna get there, dude. But
Got a poopy diaper.
I'll bring Depends. I don't care as long as someone's gonna help me change them. I know what my poop's like.
You made
It's
your
not
bed.
good.
You lie in it.
But you know what always a little fear I have is probably super rational. But everything becomes a goddamn competition.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing I want to do is see psychedelics become a competition.
Yeah,
Like,
hell yeah.
Yeah.
dude, you ain't had your ego dissolved riding on top of a fucking
Yeah,
llama and on a
definitely.
certain mountain backwards, dude. Fuck, I
Yeah.
don't want that
Dude,
to
Shane
happen.
Moss had
man.
had a great joke
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
that. He was just like,
That
people-
happens with everything.
with psychedelics, it's like coming to competition. Like people
Yes.
be like, "Oh, I had ego dissolution,
Yeah.
ego dissolution." It's like,
By the way,
really?
Andre, you didn't sound like that at all.
It's like, really?
you.
Why are you bragging about it then?
Yeah,
that was a
agree.
Shane Moss
I agree.
it's
joke.
like a
Yeah.
paradox.
Yeah, it's like you. It seems like
You
you
don't
seem
wanna wear
super
it-
humbled by it.
Yeah, you
like,
don't want to wear it like a shield, like
right,
No,
woe
right,
is me, you
or a
know?
badge.
But
or,
again,
yeah.
It's the
Again,
complete
if you-
opposite.
If you go ahead and dissect that again, it's still the same person dealing with the same shit,
yeah,
confused about the same things.
yeah,
Yeah.
Having it's
It's
all
like-
the same people, man. So
it's
take
like
the
Dennis-
beauty of it.
It's like Dennis McKenna says, you can't give Donald Trump a dose of ayahuasca and it's going to magically like dissolve his ego. Like he's a sociopath. Like you can't fix something that's underlying that, like it's just not meant for everyone. you
Yeah.
know? And no disrespect to Donald Trump. Like he is who he is, I don't want to get into politics.
Yeah,
but
dude.
that's just
We
one
all
example.
different, but I gotta admit, man. Like I always think about this in a UFC perspective, which is really weird. But if you guys watch fighting, which I know you do, sir, when somebody comes and they run out from two sides of the ring, and one guy puts his hand up, like let's do it, dude, and the other guy does it. Those are the humans I want to hang out with. But when that
Right.
guy puts his hand out and the other guy takes advantage of that opportunity because all that matters is winning. So he doesn't pump. He doesn't hit
Dude.
the glove, dude. He takes advantage of that moment to fucking. He's not cheating.
Oh, man.
See,
You're not cheating, man.
Dan Hooker did it to Paul Felder on Saturday
fucking
night.
hate that,
It
dude.
pissed me off. I
That-
was like,
that
you left him
officially-
hanging. You son
That
of a
officially, but don't get me wrong, Dan Hooker still, again, you dissect it all the way. He's just a human being trying to figure out this human experience, dude.
Yeah, man.
Like everybody
He's
else.
doing his thing.
But I am down for these people who winning's not everything, man. It's
No.
the connection. It's this. We're all trying to win, I guess.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Yeah, it's
But dude, I don't know.
It's more about cooperation than
Yeah,
competition.
there
yeah.
is. There's a cooperation. There's a lot of cool things going on where we're these fucking monkeys that all of a sudden realize we're here.
Right.
I don't know.
I like seeing you push the microphone with your mouth. You go.
I do it all the time. I do it all the
I
time, man.
just catch you doing it all the time. We're like,
I move around a lot. Ooh. Anyway, dude, that was fucking awesome. That was
yeah,
a
man.
great. You're a good
Yeah,
storyteller,
yeah, you are.
dude.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're a
I
comedy.
need to get more into that.
If so, yeah,
comedy.
you got the comedy. If somebody be like, "Hey, tell me what you did this last week," I'm like, "Yeah, so I took some drugs. I thought I was a mummy, and this dude who is screaming at the same name as me is super cool, dude." Okay, right
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
What's next?
Your comedy is very like, you got to kind of not like total Cheech and Chong, but like
Yeah,
you got
yeah.
like that super funny stoner comedy, which I
You got
love-
that good
I
laugh
love,
too, man.
dude.
It's gonna
I
play it
appreciate
well.
I
I
appreciate
super
that.
love it, dude.
So yeah, dude.
I plan on doing more in the future.
If you're
Cool.
gonna take it serious, man, I don't know if you are or not, but if you want, you can tell people where they can follow you and they can kind of watch your journey to
Oh,
see if you're
definitely.
gonna take this from 5 minutes, in a workshop to do something with it,
For
man. You
sure.
can let people know where they can follow you at.
Right now, I'm just on Facebook. You can add me at
Gotta get it. on
Andre
Facebook
Mytty.
and Twitter, man.
Yeah, I need to get on
Instagram,
Twitter.
Andre Mytty.
I took a long break from Twitter, but I'll be back on.
So spell that for everybody.
ANDRE MYTTY.
Nice,
Mytty.
dude.
But yeah, I have all my pictures up from the show the other night, and I'll Post
Is that
up.
gonna be your first special? Getting Mytty.
Getting Mytty.
Getting Mytty. Oh yeah.
Well, dude, I'll show you a little ditty
All right.
if you want to hear one.
Yeah, man.
My
Oh,
buddy that I used to play in a band with called Go At Fred, we were in a band for years. He came up this weekend and hung out with me. So I have a old ditty from one of these old Go At Fred songs I can show you real
Nice.
quick.
Well, he's
Nice.
getting that. I do want to say thanks again, brother. That was a great
Oh,
story, dude.
Thanks for having me.
I'm
on,
in.
guys.
I'm, still nervous as hell about shit in my pants.
You
Yeah.
got this.
So this little ditty is called "Piece of Cake," and it's spelled like peace, man, like piece of cake, bro.
Like P-I...
P-E-A-C.
Oh, got ya. Sorry.
Yeah, we were like a heavy thrash punk band, so it's kind of weird. It's kind of different.
Yes, dude.
That was awesome.
I just put Andre's story of that trip to that music, and I just watched it all happen. All
Awesome.
right, we're out of here. Until next time, thank you guys.
So long.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in.
Boo.
Oh, it was fun, man. That was a great story, dude.
That was crazy.